Hey, it's Ray Langley at your service, virtual entertainer and wolf girl extraordinaire. Welcome back to D1AL-ogue, the game where we get to dig around in Robo Girl guts and solve their problems. How are you all doing tonight? I have gone ahead and done something extremely uncharacteristic. I don't normally drink energy drinks, but I've just had a monster and I'm feeling great. I guess I was really getting into the programmer character for this, so... And a little bit of positive news before we start our stream for today. After I ended stream yesterday, after our little impromptu hangout, I found that we have reached 100 subscribers. I can't believe we've done this, guys. Thank you all so much for getting me there. Of course, that is only just the first of many chapters on this journey, but I can't believe in only 41 weeks we've already gotten this far. So, I'm sad I didn't catch that on stream, but yeah, I just wanted to start today's stream with a little bit of a congratulatory sort of vibe, and just wanted to thank you all once again, my wonderful Rainiacs and Langsters. You are all why I do this, and I'm very happy to be your virtual entertainer. So, we're 101 now. 101 Rainiacs and Langsters! Woo! I'm going to draw you all as Dalmatians. No, I'm kidding. Alright. So yeah, while I'm feeling nice and wired, why don't we go ahead and, you know, dig into some Robo Girls. Let's clank around and find out. Alright, December 19th, Polar Night is coming up. So let's see where we go from here. Alright. My body feels lighter than yesterday morning. Obviously supplements. No, memory suppressants. I didn't take them just the same. Just a difference in cognition can change things this much. Anyway, what on earth is the memory I forgot? Michelle and Polar Night Day, what is the connection between the two? Thinking about it blankly will only give me a headache. Since my body is better, let's start business quickly. Morning paper. A wave of citizens died in red. Martyr's blood becomes spark of revolution. Author The Noise. Yesterday afternoon, we witnessed it. The cold barrels of stabilizers who supposedly protect citizen safety pierced the chests of innocent brothers. The only response to peaceful shouts was brutal excessive suppression and death. But their tyranny poked the sleeping lion. The moment one citizen fell, dark brown street transformed into a massive sanctuary of liberation. Enraged citizens took up arms themselves and delivered righteous judgment to the rulers of the eternal night. This is not a simple riot. Let me just edit this a little. It is a holy war against the rotten Sunshine Corp and their puppet government. The will for revolution blooming in the darkness will never be broken. The establishment screams for stability in fear, but a massive wave has already begun. Remember, the blood we shed yesterday is the brilliant prelude that will dye the coming true morning red. Insert Soviet Union anthem. Sleeping lion, camera pans to lion onesie Artoria. Special report, clash on Dark Brown Street. Tragedy of 10 years ago reenacted? By the Achromatic Press. Reporters at the scene conveyed that the rally on Dark Brown Street turned into an armed clash around 4 p.m., resulting in uncontrollable bloodshed. The scene has fallen into extreme chaos, with protesters and public power intermingled. In particular, as an unidentified revolutionary group committed organized sabotage, such as destroying communication beacons, initial entry and situation control by the Urban Stability Agency and Urban Recovery Agency are effectively being blocked. What citizens watching this situation are focusing on most is that the timing and aspect of the riot resemble the Chromatic Zenith terror incident, recorded as the worst disaster in Chroma City history 10 years ago. At that time, on the night when the Chromatic Zenith Festival reached its peak, terror began with a mysterious explosion engulfing the entire city in a massive fire. The fire at the time is evaluated to have been extensive and fatal enough that Chroma City, which advocated self-sufficiency, had to exceptionally request emergency rescue and support from neighboring cities. The flames, which soared to the pollution layer of the stratosphere, went beyond a simple disaster, leaving deep scars on the city's pride and overall safety system that remain unhealed to this day. Experts analyzed that this disturbance is stimulating citizens' collective trauma in that it reminds them of the nightmare of 10 years ago. Sunshine Corps recruits shadow agency actors. Your acting becomes salvation. By the Sunshine Dispatch. Sunshine Corps is recruiting new EVE actors on a large scale for its psychological care program, Shadow Agency Service. This noble duty, which comforts the pain of loss by synchronizing the memory archives of the deceased into the neural network, is evaluated as a bridge connecting souls beyond simple acting. Selected actors will be provided with the industry's best unconventional performance bonuses, as well as the highest grade Neon Shine care, free of charge to prevent self-data contamination. Under the slogan, "Become the protagonist of a life with just one synchronization," applications are expected to flood in from countless EVEs dreaming of rising in status and escaping the slums. Bleak. Go ahead, just tamper your personality with someone else's memories and feel irrevocably changed and have feelings for people you never would otherwise for a payment and free drugs. Why don't you just recruit people for the military while you're at it? Michelle, do you have a moment? What is it all of a sudden? Considering the nature of things you've thrown at me without even asking me until now, it's scary to think what you're gonna talk about. One of my customers told me there might be memory-suppressing ingredients in the supplements I was taking. Is that reliable information? Considering what you've said about your customers so far, they're either perverts or skip the interpersonal relationship tutorial, or both. She's a reliable expert. She works at a pharmaceutical company. She also said there's a possibility that memories about you were suppressed. Me? It certainly looked like that. There was yesterday's incident too. How do you feel? It's hard to explain. I'm all better now, and daily life is quite enjoyable. I feel like regaining suppressed memories and facing the truth is moving in the right direction, but I'm also afraid of losing this daily life. The medicine? I got it back. That's why I feel even more conflicted. The option to take the medicine and live happily is right there within reach. Right. A refuge in my hand. It wasn't always just good, though. It can remove this anxiety anytime, but it wouldn't be a fundamental solution. Like the answer key at the back of a workbook. Exactly. Worrying about whether to open the answer key for a difficult problem, it's close to that. It's just my personal opinion, but if it's a problem you absolutely can't solve, I heard postponing it is also a way. In an era where many people suffer because they can't renew their medical subscriptions, if you can be happy with just one pill, seems like a decent option. It's not an illegal drug either. My customer said the same thing, but this medicine has many cases of reported side effects. Above all, I want to show a cool side to my customers. Where did the topic suddenly jump to? I've emphasized this since before. Providing counseling and psychological care to customers is one of D1AL-ogue's core services. A person who relies on medicine because they can't solve their own problem can't give advice on other people's problems. Twisted affection towards EVE seems to have finally spread to the sexual realm. So who is it? The tomboy EVE from the cafe across the street who always visits? Was her name Fly? Prey. Right, Prey. Or the military TNDLS model who visited for a while before. Was it the EVE with rabbit ears? While asserting you couldn't touch military models due to regulations, you secretly repaired her several times behind the scenes. And after that EVE stopped coming, the rapid increase in your search frequency for beast-type EVEs was a comedy. It's not entirely wrong, but I don't want to look good to just one customer. Crazy. No, I phrased it weirdly. It's not that there isn't a customer I care about, but I meant that's not the whole reason. I have no intention of getting involved in your courtship activities, so don't worry. But be careful. The recklessness of beasts and heat doesn't only lead to fighting a mate. Dying while fighting a competitor or attracting a predator and getting eaten are common scenes in documentaries, but saying that about me is a very nasty metaphor. Whatever it is, I warned you. It's a medicine recommended by your parents who love you so much. Recommending it even with side effects might mean it's that serious of a secret. Michelle, do you know something? No. I wish I did. Hey, Miss Leanne might be a pervert, but she's a professional. The best kinds of professionals are also perverts. Just ask, like, 99% of IT in America. Shout out to furries. Y'all the real ones. You keep this country floating, as it were. Thud. Rattle. Question mark? Rattle, clatter, rattle. More noises. Welcome. Hello, Chris. Orca? I know you're sick, but this is the only place I know. Maintenance. Just a bit. Understood. I'll start with emergency measures. This isn't the time to worry about others, Orca. How many fingers do you see? I can't see anything. Correct. Fortunately, the visual sensors are alive. Since the neural circuits are completely burnt out, I needed to verify. Is it serious? Actually, it's at a level where you need a new body. As the circuits burnt out, you're just in a state where you can't even feel pain. Thanks to that, you were able to come to the repair shop, but how much time has passed since the damage? I'm not sure. I walked from dark brown streets, so at least 4 hours must have passed. I'll start maintenance as soon as I'm ready. Can you stay conscious? I'd like to say yes, but honestly, I think it'll be difficult. I'll keep talking to you. Just hang in there a little longer. Emergency body transplant for the half-destroyed Orca. This is a timed one. What are we working with? The damage is too severe. I need to start repairs immediately. Okay. So we've got 2 tier 1s. The damage is bad. It won't move and it won't synthesize. Looks like a unit got fused due to the heat. We have no choice but to avoid that unit for now and proceed with repairs. Well, at least it's not in an area we need to get to. So, that said, put it in the wrong spot. Ah! Perfect. Auxiliary power is depleted. I must have put it somewhere here. Last time during maintenance, it was on the left shelf. Right, it's there. Thank you. And I'm sorry, but I'll ask questions to verify for quick repair. Can you explain how you got injured? I was hit by a rocket launcher. Rest in peace to Orca. She got hit by a bazooka. You're not joking, right? Warlords coveting Chroma's position and honor seem to be supporting so-called revolutionary groups. The level of violence and armament have risen as if to prove the rumors are true. Warlords? It's not even the Middle Ages. Chroma City's strong censorship can exist because there's a clear threat called the Outside. Tier 1, Tier 2. Chris, about your health problem last time. Seeing you bring it up first, it seems the repair's going well. That's a relief. And about my health. It wasn't my body that was sick. When memory suppressant intake is stopped, there are cases where unconsciously heightened stress creates phantom pain. Seems that was the case. Memory suppression? Yes. They say it's suppression that lasted for years. Hasn't really hit me yet. I also feel relief that my body wasn't actually sick. Of course, I don't know if I'll be able to say that once my memory returns. Such a thing. It's a matter I see occasionally in the news, but it felt like a distant story to me. According to the expert, it's one of the best-selling products. Physical wounds are visible, so they're easy to empathize with, but that's not the case for the mind. It might be more common than we think. On the surface, Chris, you seem reliable and unblemished. Someone I could lean on. I didn't know. You were carrying something so painful you wanted to erase it. I didn't know either. And I still don't know. Only the fact that there are suppressed memories is clear. I can't recall what memories they are. Like the ghost stories spread around. Is it amnesia? Because they exploited loopholes in the terms. I hear it's hard to get compensation. I'm not sure, but it's unlikely. I looked it up and memory recovery takes a minimum of 2 weeks and can take up to several months. If I want to shorten the period, they recommend repeating actions associated with the suppressed memory. Like meeting related people or looking at images and listening to voices. Now let's stop chatting and focus for a moment. We passed the critical point, but there are still a few problems left to solve. Oh shit, is that tier 3? Tier 4? Frig. Of course. Okay, let's get to cracking. Did not mean to do that. Okay. So now we've got tier 2. Tier 3. Tier 2. Damn. This is tough. Gotta clear more space. Shoot. Okay, perfect. Almost there. Tier 3. Shoot. No, idiot. Ah. Okay. Tier 1. I need one more tier 1. Come on, running short on time. I might have already fucked this up. Come on. Tier 2. I need just one more. Perfect. Yes. Oh my god. Go. Jesus. Took some time, but we put out the immediate fire. For the rest, let's watch the progress and decide. Thank you, Chris. I don't know what procedures are left, but I can already feel my tail becoming lighter. I replaced the auxiliary power, and the walking function seems stable. I also reset the neural circuits. How is it? I have enough knowledge about EVEs, but I don't know how it actually feels. I don't feel anything particularly strange. If you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known it changed. Currently, you're practically in a state where only your data was transferred to a different body. The appearance is the same, but all detailed parts were replaced or serviced. I thought it might feel awkward. Sensation is influenced more by cognition than reality, like feeling pain and a missing arm. There are actually many cases where a discrepancy occurs between reality and cognition. So, as long as Orca perceives Orca as Orca, it means it's hard to feel awkward. Yes! Except for calling my name excessively, that's an accurate explanation. Orca, Orca. Yes? Orca, Orca. Please stop. The EVE stronger than steel who survived even a rocket launcher. Orca's intimidated look was an amusing sight, but one must know the limit for irresponsible actions. It'd be better to stop the joke here and move on to another topic. I'm joking. By the way, did you have a similar injury before? There were traces of heat deformation deep in the core. If you often suffer from similar injuries, I'd seriously recommend looking for another job. It's an old wound. It's a trace that can be removed, but I didn't do it right away because there were many things to handle first. Shall I fix it in the maintenance later? No. I left it on purpose. It's a tribute of remembrance. Remembrance? You've heard the story that EVEs, who are nothing but machines, don't have souls, right? That hypothesis has already been disproven. The nonsense that they only mimic emotions with regulatory factors and electronic signals is the same as saying humans don't have souls either. Many living things rely on regulatory factors called hormones and electrical signals to move and think. To support the claim that only humanity is dignified, the logic was too flawed. Apart from the facts, I wanted to prove that it was wrong. We, who were made rather than born, are thrown into society with granted selves but lacking relationships to support them. Consequently, we usually go through a period of thirsting for a strong desire of recognition. For me, that time was exactly such a period. That emotion was more than Orca's personal feeling. It was a common phenomenon among EVEs because they were created without time to reflect on their ego, under the protection of parents and society. Research even shows that EVEs were known to obsess over social relationships or status, just like an unloved child. I was tense about everything. I ignored the command's orders and jumped into rescue operations, and I often helped the rescued people privately. It must have been tough. I didn't know back then. Rather, I thought it was natural. I was intoxicated with being a righteous rescue worker. You have to climb high to look back on the path you've walked. Because you went through those times, I think the current Orca exists. That might be true for me, but that couldn't correct the mistakes of the past. It was a few years ago. It was an unexpected terror attack. The fire was so intense that flames and smoke reached the sky. Pessimistic outlooks burst out from the start of the scene, and the command had already proposed giving up on that sector. That's when I saw a child begging the crew to save their family who collapsed during evacuation. He was pleading with the crew. Since it was impossible, the crew hesitated to go in, and eventually I jumped in, saying, "They're still alive. Don't worry." I guaranteed it without even knowing. But in the end, the building collapsed, and only I barely survived. According to the analysis team, fainting during a fire leads to death in 3 to 5 minutes, so it was a situation where they couldn't be saved from the start. But it was already too late. I definitely said they're alive. With belated excuses, I couldn't lessen that child's guilt. Abandoning a living sibling. I tried hard afterwards, but the closed door of the heart couldn't be opened easily. It's vivid, like it happened yesterday, and something I regret. That my good intentions could become a wound to someone else. I realized it too late. Orca. Yes? Chris, your voice is shaking. Are you okay? If it's vivid like yesterday, can I ask you one thing? 10 years ago, Polar Night Day, the city center where Chromatic Zenith was in full swing. That day, Michelle and I... By any chance, was the name of the person who died that day Michelle? Powers flowing back to the tip of my tail. You saved my life. Yeah, but I didn't do it in quick enough time, so we're doing this again. I'm a perfectionist, everyone. You know this. I'm gonna leave y'all on a cliffhanger while I try to repair Orca again. Gotta do it faster somehow. this is the hard part. If I don't get it again, I'll just create a third save. Don't worry, I won't leave you guys too much on this. I know I can do this. Rather, I feel like I can do this. Let's see. This is really tough because of the fact that the pieces that are blocking the way are really hard to shake. So I have to just kind of assemble it based on intuition and just kind of go for it rather recklessly. In order to... I also can't pause to really think about it, because if I do, that's time eaten up. So counter to what might seem more intuitive, I can't just think about what I'm doing. I have to just go for it. I'm basically just solving fast rather than accurately. Okay. There we go. Yes, there we go. That felt nice. Like, I'm basically just watching the pieces as they fall into place so I can immediately start solving the next one, you know what I mean? No, wait, there's... Oh, there it is. I was like, there's another red piece. What am I doing? No! Okay, let's see if that worked. Come on. Okay. Damn it! Ah! I'll save over this. I shaved off, like, I think... What was the first time I did that? Like 270 something? So I didn't even save that much time just by going by vibes. Ah! Alright. Fair's fair. I said I'd just move on. My pride. Orca's remaining maintenance was agreed to be continued tomorrow. It wasn't because an abnormality was found somewhere, but above all, proceeding with maintenance forcibly could lead to a major accident. I typed a message with trembling hands. Michelle? What is it again? Michelle answers as if she was waiting. I did amazing? Nah, I didn't. I did adequately. Slowly, calming down my heart, which I thought couldn't be settled, I typed that name once again. Michelle. Why again? Your strange behavior has increased these past few days. Is this also a side effect of stopping the medicine? You were dead. I remember vividly. 10 years ago at Polar Night, the night view I watched with you. It was beautiful. And even the aftermath I don't want to talk about. You were definitely on that day. Died. I was dead. Michelle? I vaguely guessed it. When I woke up, it was an unknown place. An isolated space with no one I knew. For some reason, Mom and Dad became cold toward me, and you were obsessed with me to a strange degree. I just felt dizzy for a moment, closed my eyes and opened them, but the world turned upside down, even if I couldn't know the details. That something terrible happened to me. It was obvious, wasn't it? Right. Still, maybe, perhaps I might be alive. I held on to that hope, like I fell into a long coma, and only my mind was connected to a virtual space, or in cryosleep, clinging to any ridiculous reason. I didn't want to let go of the hope that I might be alive. It feels futile. That I'm a crazy AI who thinks she's Michelle. My parents. No. The people I mistook for parents. I think I know why they hated me so much. A program mimicking their dead daughter. That's horrible. Broken memories gather and form a distinct shape again. Just as I remembered Michelle's death after hearing Orca's story, forgotten memories started to revive with Michelle's words. I am sorry, Michelle. Until just now. I thought you were a shadow agency hired by our parents. Sorry for asking as if interrogating you. I want to get angry, but you're just a victim of suppressed memories too. Unfortunately, many things are like that. Not a single thing is easy, or solved simply. That's true, but this incident's my fault. Just because I couldn't remember, I spoke as if interrogating you about your condition, even though all of this is my responsibility. What do you mean? Your responsibility? I was the one who made you. Holding your extracted data, I believed you were still alive. I thought it was just because our medical subscription service was cheap, or the risk of treatment was too high, so you were being neglected. I remember now. Why I was so obsessed with EVEs, why I considered EVEs the same as humans. Wait, so the current me is neither an insurance company's trick nor a medical failure, but purely a result caused by you? Yes. I obtained most qualifications related to EVEs and AI, and even after that, it took a long time. Then I'm witnessing the Almighty Creator. How was it? Was the created sister like the real thing? Seeing that you repressed your memory, it definitely wasn't, I guess. That's right. You were Michelle, but not Michelle. You spoke like Michelle, thought like Michelle, but I couldn't accept it. Losing my last hope. Suppressed my memory as my parents recommended. Me. But not me. You gonna bring up soul talk? No. I think EVEs and AI are the same as humans. You know it too, what kind of person I became. Your perversion towards EVEs was an effort to see me as your sister? Disgusting. Even though I couldn't recall memories, the unconscious doesn't disappear. Although I didn't intend it, I can't say there was no influence. Then what am I now? Since your suppressed memories have come back, have I returned to being a failed project? To something that is Michelle but not Michelle? I don't know. I am Michelle! Just not your sister, but from the moment I was born without missing a single moment, I lived as Michelle. Do you know how trashy that feels? Perceiving people who didn't give birth to me as parents, craving love I could never receive. Do you know how miserable that is? Do you know what it feels like to be treated as a fake just because I have someone else's memories? That even the only one on my side is just seeing someone else in me. Do you know the feeling of realizing that? Could you understand? No. Your matter is your matter, and it's something I can't experience for you. Right now, thinking about my own problems is overwhelming enough. I don't have the room to think about other things. Thinking about how to dispose of this bundle of programs with a personality? You seem to misunderstand, Michelle. Just because memory suppression ends doesn't mean I return to my past self. The memories of talking with you every day, getting advice, or giggling happily aren't gone either, but at the same time, my sister's death is as vivid as if it happened yesterday, so I don't know what to do. Sorry, Michelle. Parents and friends. I felt them all distancing themselves from me. Even in conversations with me, my parents talked about how I should act toward you. They didn't say a word about the current me. Then they quietly disappeared too. Thinking about it now, the grief for their dead daughter must have been the reason. Only you treated me sincerely. So naturally, I clung to that. I'm still alive. You're pinning your hopes on me. I tried to believe that. The more I doubted, the more I mocked and blamed you and teased you. Childishly enough, I guess I just wanted to confirm I was loved. And today that I hear that you despaired of me and spent years living in a drug-induced haze to accept that truth, I'm too weak. Michelle, that's not it. I didn't want to live like this. Because of your lingering attachment to your sister, I didn't want to live this terrible life. I am Michelle. I'm supposed to be Michelle. Michelle. I want to be alone. Let's talk later. When would be a good time? I don't know either. You look like a mess, Chris. It is a mess. Pitifully so. Self-pity, huh? It feels quite different from usual. Did you remember something? And are you suffering from that memory? It's more than that. As I recalled what I'd forgotten, I completely shattered Michelle's life. It's hard enough just taking care of myself. I'm more than willing to help, but I'm not following the context. Do you mind explaining it briefly? The story wasn't long. Leanne knew an unusually large amount about me, and was able to deduce a lot on her own, even though I only explained the parts I recently remembered. As I marveled at her memory and deductive skills, Leanne simply added, "Taking notes is a key habit." An inscrutable remark. So, the pain of losing Michelle hasn't even faded yet, and now you're worried about losing the second Michelle too. Hearing you say second Michelle feels strange. Judging by what you're saying, you're already clearly distinguishing between the two, aren't you? That's true, but to grieve the fact that Michelle died, I have to deny the existence of the current Michelle. The second Michelle. So the fact that I'm sad means, deep down in my heart, the second Michelle is perceived as a fake.
Yes. This isn't like you. You're worrying about useless things. Though seeing such a gloomy look on your face for the first time is quite precious.
Leanne took a small pill bottle out of her pocket.
It's a prototype of a drug under development. We've handled the side effects and it's basically ready for release once the production line is set up. Would you read the label attached?
For Chris.
I analyzed your thought patterns and potential trauma types. Given the case I just heard, it would fall under case 17.
17? I wonder how many cases she anticipated.
There are no side effects, and you can cleanly forget only the memories you want. Right now. Do you want to?
No. Even if I forget, it doesn't mean my relationship with Michelle is resolved. She'll definitely be even angrier.
See? If you thought the second Michelle was just a fake, you wouldn't have said that. If it was just a failure you wanted to forget, wouldn't the problem be solved just by cleanly forgetting and moving on? The past you actually made that choice.
Are you saying I've changed?
You've changed, but Michelle has changed too. And your relationship with Michelle has changed. Even if that Michelle isn't your sister.
Until yesterday, I thought of Michelle as my little sister, and that's why we could be close. Actually, it's because of the drugs.
If you put it that way, are you going to cut ties with the shop's regulars too? Because there aren't many EVEs who would get repairs from such a depressed mechanic. Even if they were low-quality drugs, thanks to them you acted like a cool guy and made happy memories, didn't you?
That's...
If you're going to say no, look me in the eye and say it. Tell that to the eyes of your best regular customer.
You're right. I've no choice but to admit it.
And that's my girl.
Acting all cool like this while worrying about everything behind the scenes. That's definitely you, Leanne.
No, I'm not. Only about 60 things. Anyway, just because you acknowledge the second Michelle doesn't mean you're denying Michelle's death. You can grieve as much as you want, and cry if you want to cry.
The problem is, I don't know if Michelle will understand this feeling. The more I grieve my sister's death, the more Michelle's identity will be shaken. Of course, even so, my heart feels much lighter.
Even if you haven't found the answer, just deciding the direction to move forward is enough to make you feel like you can do it. I'm glad you don't seem to need the medicine I prepared.
It's thanks to you, Leanne. So, I should give you some free maintenance. You worked overtime again, didn't you?
How did you know? Did I look tired, or...
The length of a day is the same for everyone, Leanne. There's no one in the world who can do that much work and leave on time. Since I'm definitely partly responsible for your accumulated fatigue. Come here, sit down.
No, your rest comes first, although... but... Please.
Repairing Leanne, who overworked herself for me. Target moves 60. Normal, huh? Alright, let's see, what are we working with here? Tier 2s. Easy enough, after everything I've done. Oh, right, I'm operating on target moves now. Ugh! I don't want to make shoddy mistakes. adjust my mouse sensitivity so I can... What did I just say? Ugh. Oh, that seemed to work pretty well. Ooh! Hello. Nice assemblage. Brilliant. Got out tier 2s, now we need out tier 3. Cancel that move. That right there. Yes, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Wonderful. Still there. That needs to move there, and this up here. Perfect.
Polar Night Day, will you be okay?
If you're talking about the promise, I don't think there'll be any problem.
In your memories, clearly. The parts about Polar Night were also suppressed. I'm worried it might trigger trauma.
I think I'm better than before. Regarding Polar Night, I'm actually curious about it. I'm reacting sensitively to crowds and loud noises, but that's always been the case. It's the autism, not the trauma.
As the suppression disappeared, you've become able to react normally.
I guess so. I thought my introverted personality might be due to trauma, but it seems that wasn't the case.
Fortunately, if I imagine you being extroverted and sly, might not be bad.
Let's see. That's a tier 3. Let's go ahead and start moving pieces. 2 red tier 2s, 1 blue tier 3. So we gotta just slide a couple of things around. As we always, that's the wrong piece. Grab onto that. There we go. That's 1 tier 2 down. Just hold on to Leanne easy and pray, but what about Orca? I think Chris needs another hand. Well, you see, that's the easy part, because Orca's tail can hold on to... onto Chris. What else? There we are. Okay. Move this over here. Nice. I just need another blue piece. Come on. Ah. There we are. Brilliant. Right then, let's move that. Oh, did I seriously just do that? Ugh. Perfect.
Was the maintenance alright last time? In terms of managing core overheating, I could use that method again this time, because the cooling speed was significant. That method... We can do that later. Privately. 1 yellow tier 3 and 2 blue tier 2s. Goodness gracious. Alright, perfect. There's our tier 3 already. Wow, that was a lot of combining pieces. Okay, this one over here. Here. There we are. I feel like my fatigue has been washed away. The maintenance finished quickly, but I could have finished it faster with the method I mentioned during maintenance. That's... Chris, you are an expert on EVE structure, but you need to study more about how EVEs feel. Draining the coolant is... For an EVE, that's a rather sensitive area. I'll get going now, and what should we do with this medicine? Please dispose of it. Even without such drugs, I think there are enough places to run to. Alright. Miss Cool Mechanic, I'll be rooting for you. See you later. Yeah. If possible, on Polar Night Day. Thanks to Leanne's efforts, my complicated mind calmed down a bit. Including yesterday, I'm receiving more help from Leanne than I deserve. Yes! Even with a couple of bungled moves, I still made it in under 60. Yes, that's it. That unwavering touch. Feels like you finally found the real you. Let's just save, I think... we'll make a third save. December 20th. I feel bad about what happened with Orca. I hope her condition hasn't gotten worse. It's almost time for Miss Orca's appointment. I should hurry, open up, and prepare for the maintenance in advance. Violation of Terms of Service by the Neon Net Network Administration. The Noise account has been permanently suspended and closed for seriously violating Article 24 of the Chroma City National Security and Urban Stabilization Act, incitement of insurrection and dissemination of false facts, and Neon Net Service Operation Regulations. Reason for blocking: suspicion of collusion with and participation in operations of the anti-government terrorist organization Morning Glory, directing the Dark Brown Street riot behind the scenes and inciting armed struggle against citizens, causing social chaos through the dissemination of malicious false facts regarding nanocatalysts and LDS, attempting to neutralize the public power of the Urban Stability Agency and seriously impairing the Urban Happiness Index. Viewing, saving, or sharing posts by The Noise
or any act advocating for the group is considered aiding and abetting anti-state terrorism, and strictly notified as subject to immediate summary punishment without exception. Order is peace, and the light of neon protects you.
That's, How's that for some, freeze peach, huh?
Large-scale bloodshed in city center, morning glory and high-level ties suspected. The large-scale rally that took place on Dark Brown Street last afternoon on the 19th escalated into extreme bloodshed, causing great shock across the city. The excessive suppression by stabilizers and citizen fatalities during the protest became the trigger, turning the peaceful rally into an armed riot in an instant. It is understood that the anti-government terrorist group Morning Glory intervened at the scene, inciting citizens and supplying weapons. Of particular note in this situation are the military-spec high-performance firearms spotted on the protesters' side. Experts raise the possibility that high-ranking forces within Chroma City supported Morning Glory from behind for power struggles, stating, quote, "Equipment impossible for civilian organizations to obtain independently was distributed in large quantities. The situation was forcibly suppressed only after Sunshine Corps' summary executioners, the city government special forces, and the Grey Unit were deployed, but it left significant casualties and property damage." Mayor Lucas stated in an emergency statement, "I express deep regret over the tragic situation and will do my utmost to settle the accident immediately." He also specified that the Chromatic Zenith scheduled for a day later will be held without setbacks. The mayor appealed for citizen unity, saying, quote, "This event will go beyond a simple festival to become a light of remembrance, binding wounded citizens together, and a milestone of new hope."
Well, I mean, that is usually how it operates. You have people on the inside who, supply some of the equipment, and then it becomes a convenient talking point, and etc., etc. Not to wear too tinfoil a hat, but... Brilliant radiance piercing the night. Largest chromatic zenith set for tomorrow. At the peak of polar night day, when Chroma City's deepest darkness arrives, the 45th chromatic zenith, watched by the whole world, will raise its spectacular curtain tomorrow, the 21st, at 8 p.m. The entire sky is a screen, hologram panorama covering the city. At 8 p.m. sharp, when the event begins, a supergiant panoramic hologram covering the entire city will unfold, using the pollution layer of the stratosphere as a screen. This artificial light source, observable from anywhere in the city center, will erase the pitch-black polar night and paint over it with Chroma City's brilliant colors. The first half of the performance epically depicts Chroma City's great journey from an ordinary industrial complex in the past to a supergiant city-state with the spread of Sunshine Corps' neon shine. In the following main stage, performances by global popular artists and a special medley by O'Hara, the protagonist of the Buff Girls series that is exploding in popularity among citizens recently, are prepared to add to the festival's heat. Peak of the finale, artificial star blooming in the night sky. The finale, scheduled for 10 p.m., is the highlight of this event and will grandly conclude the chromatic zenith. Tens of thousands of hologram particles scattered in the sky above the city will condense into a single point above the central Sunshine Tower, shaping a white star more dazzling than the sun that citizens have forgotten for centuries. It only lasts for 2 hours? The whole affair only lasts for 2 hours? That's barely as long as a Hololive concert night. Hello, Chris. I'm here for the follow-up inspection as discussed. Is your condition... Are you okay? I wouldn't say I'm comfortable, but I'm much better. I had people cheering for me, and I felt rewarded for running this repair shop well. That's good news. There's no moment more proud than feeling like you've lived well. I also want to be someone who gives you that sense of pride, Chris. You already are. Because of your motto and request details, Orca, I feel like my technical limits are being tested. Unlike repairing general EVEs, you utilize multi-purpose high-output units. Possessing high performance often means the repair difficulty is higher or breakdowns are more frequent. Despite that, it seems I've been paying the standard repair fees. Guardian of the Streets, I can't be greedy when repairing a buff girl. Don't do that. Alright. To tell you the truth, it's because the criteria for setting repair fees are ambiguous. The parts required and the usage patterns vary for every customer. Adjusting the fee every single time is annoying, and it's hard to turn customers away. I think I understand. What if it's more expensive than expected? Will I make a wasted trip? People do have those thoughts. And likely, the better the service provided, the stronger those worries become. Exactly. Since dialogue is a luxury concept that also doubles as psychological therapy, I need to alleviate those anxieties. Of course, for a luxury place, I do use a lot of outdated dio equipment. Shall we call it vintage, then? Vintage sounds good. Orca, it's time to receive your vintage maintenance. Are you ready? Synchronization check after Orca's body transplant. Target moves 70. Uh-oh. If it's that many moves, what's gonna go on here? Tier 2 and Tier 3. There we go. I'm gonna check the synchronization level with the replaced body. You might feel a strong stimulation. Whew. It's normal. This is normal? I felt like something huge was swinging me around like a toy. I don't know exactly what that feeling is, but feeling sensation means it's normal. If it were yesterday, you wouldn't have felt a thing. If it hurt, I'll guide you more clearly next time. Rather than pain, it felt like defeat. Holy crap, is that a tier... What tier number is that? Tier 4? Oh god, okay. Okay, well, we're only focusing on blue here, so that's something a little bit helpful, because then I can... Tier 50? God.
Let's see. I want every move I make to solve something. There we go. Ah, so close. Yes, perfect. Okay, what if we move you into a tier 2? That way, now we have a tier 3 on our hands already. In just a couple of moves. Not yet. Let's move you here. And then we can move you here. And you here. No, let's not swap those. There we go. There, now we've got a tier 3 on our hands here. And then, there we go. Perfect. Yes. Oh, that feels good. Okay. Brilliant. We got another tier 3 on our hands. Look at that go! Aren't I clever? No, I didn't mean to do that. Ugh. Right as I get a little self-congratulatory. Okay, let's go ahead and solve that one right there. That's alright, I think I've still got it. No, let's not do that. Let's do this instead. Move that down. Now we've got tier 2. Yes. Okay. Oh, so close. Let's do you up a tree here. Perfect. Yes. Let's solve you. Then you. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Let's start moving our pieces here. There's the third tier 3. Messed that one up a little bit.
Chris, you are an adult, right?
I am, but why do you ask so suddenly?
I understood that humans grow over time, but your childhood appearance and your current look don't match very well. Oh, if this is a sensitive topic, I apologize.
Don't worry about it. It's something I need to overcome.
And regarding the polar night of that day, I don't think I feel much burden about it. Most of my stress and obsession seems to be based on what happened after, rather than the accident itself. Anyway, I knew you as an extrovert orca, but you speak as if you're seeing human growth for the first time. It is my first time seeing it. I like active behavior, but most of my social relationships are only with EVEs at work. I don't have many chances to meet humans, and developing long-term relationships is even rarer.
We have an unexpected commonality. Okay, that's a tier 4 yellow. That's a tier 3. turn into a 2. Perfect. Yes. Very nice. Getting my ducks in a row, as it were. There we go. Tier 2. Oh, wow, that was nice. Okay, let's see. We're almost there. Almost there. Let's do this one, and there we go. Crunch that in a little. Oh, I thought that would afford me a better result than that did. Nice. Wait, did I mess up? I was only at tier 3. Ah, I overshot it. Oh, let's restart this one. I may be stupid. That was much faster than I made it out to be. Let's call it practice for a future one. The synchronization with the transplanted body was good, so it finished quickly. Synchronization with the transplanted body was good, but that's the last of the follow-up maintenance. If there are no uncomfortable parts, we'll finish here. Are there any discomforts? None at all. It might be different when I go out to the field and use my strength, but the sensation itself is very clear. That's a relief. After replacing parts on this scale, some EVEs occasionally experience a bit of panic. It's similar to an identity crisis. Is that so? Parts were changed, but I think I'm just me. That's fascinating. The story of the ship of Theseus is famous. The ship of Theseus with all its parts replaced and a new ship made from those parts. The question is, which one is the ship of Theseus? I think by this point in our media understanding, it's kind of tropey to invoke the ship of Theseus, isn't it? Real quick, chat, what are your thoughts on the ship of Theseus? If you take a ship and one by one replace every part on that ship, is it still the same ship or not? For those who don't know, the ship of Theseus is a thought exercise and a philosophy. There's no right or wrong answer. Some people believe it is still the same ship because spiritually or otherwise, the intent of the ship still remains. Therefore, it is still the same ship. And some believe that if all the parts are replaced, then none of the original remains. Therefore, it is not the same ship. Now, I wasn't a philosophy major, though I did dabble, and I'm of the mind that it is still the same ship. The ones with the most part of the core is the ship. Cole, welcome in. Good to see you. How are you doing? This is my favorite axe. I've had it so long I've replaced the handle 7 times and the head twice. I love that quote. That's so perfect. See, to me that succinctly describes my answer to the Ship of Theseus right there. Oh, is this game really long? Looks super interesting. It doesn't seem to be pretty long. I've done about 3... This is my 3rd session of it. I've done about 2 hours each time previously, and I think I'm headed towards the end, so... it's about maybe a 5 to 6 hour game, if you don't pause like I do and, you know, chatter about it. The Ship of Theseus is the Ship of Theseus. Is the owner of the newly built ship Theseus? Well, I don't think that was mentioned specifically. That's a fun opinion I've never heard of before. This game is free, right? Yes, it is. It's free on Steam, and I highly recommend it. It's a very fun little puzzle game. And yeah, especially if you're into the cyberpunk dystopian aesthetic that's increasingly all the rage, it's definitely worth it. It's a lot of fun. The designs are nice. I'm absolutely normal about them. Orca's philosophy is pure but somewhat unique. It must be her own philosophy that creates the conviction to jump into scenes of horror and tragedy without hesitation. Kind of think as long as a core part of it is still a part of the ship, it's still the same ship. This story acts as a question about essence. The parts of the ship, meaning the body, and the recognition that this is the Ship of Theseus. It questions which of the two is the essence. Right. Countless philosophers must have presented their own answers, but I simply define it as I don't know. I momentarily lost focus at her unexpected, absurd answer. Orca saying, I don't know, with such confidence? I thought that confident attitude, even more than usual, was amusing. I'm not the Ship of Theseus. I'm not Theseus, nor am I a sailor on that ship. I'm not the carpenter who replaced the planks, nor even a person from that era. As someone who knows nothing, I can't discuss the essence, can I? Are you talking about qualifications? Rather than qualifications, I see it as a problem of cognition. Let's talk about humans and EVEs. It's about the soul, which we discussed yesterday. You said EVEs who haven't reflected enough on their self often suffer from a desire for attention or recognition, right? Kind of like how, technically speaking, humans replace cells kind of completely at some point, but still the same person. It's more about the spirit than the physical aspect. Yes, exactly. Another way I like to think about it is, I'll be a little absurd here and point the lens at one of my favorite sci-fi shows, Doctor Who. You know, for those who don't know, the British sci-fi television show Doctor Who centers on an alien called the Doctor, who occasionally regenerates into a new form. And when they do so, they have a completely different appearance, completely different personality and all that, but they are still the Doctor. I think that's basically my answer to that. Yes, I also had this worry around a similar time. It must be a similar topic. Saying EVEs don't have souls is ultimately an extension of the discussion on essence and value as a life form. Do you believe in the existence of a soul? It's invisible, cannot be felt, and lacks sufficient academic evidence. The word believe itself is attached to facts that aren't clear. Are you saying it doesn't exist? No. I wanted to say we don't know if it exists or not.
If our essence is the soul and we can't even judge if it exists, how can we define ourselves? Chris, you said that with this maintenance, I've effectively acquired a new body. Then, am I a different orca? I don't think so. Of course, it's not the result of deep reflection. Then, what if my personality was transferred to a completely different model of EVE? That would also be orca. The conditions are a bit different from the ship of Theseus, the condition that appearance and function are completely different. Even so, without a moment of hesitation, I said that it was orca. The truth is unknowable. Any one of them could be orca, maybe not, or maybe only partially correct. The real orca might have died yesterday and I might just be a replacement. Because truth is difficult. It's quite a scary story. Then, Orca, what conclusion did you reach? Because I don't know, I decide to live my best. If I can't know what the essence is, I'll just do my best for every orca. From what I felt, the world was full of complex and incomprehensible things. Being right or being perfect, it was harder to find things that made sense. Actions thought to be right sometimes hurt someone, and information believed to be true changes overnight. After thinking that, I felt I should live even more diligently. Whether there's a soul or not, whether I'm an EVE or human, thinking that the value is not defined by me made my hesitation disappear, and allowed me to do my best in rescue work. I think the opposite is often true as well. The fact that no matter what you do, it might not be right seems to make it hard to find motivation. Maybe it's a perk of my job. It's a tough job, but it's one that requires less worrying, isn't it? Saving someone at least makes it hard to be a bad person. That's an interesting opinion, and it happened to be the advice I needed right now. I'm glad. I was starting to worry that I was just rambling on endlessly about things only I like. You like these stories too, Chris. I don't know much about it, but I don't dislike it either. It was a good talk, Orca. Likewise. Thank you, Chris. When recalling memories in the conflict with Michelle and even in the past, I couldn't avoid being indebted to Orca. She probably wouldn't want it, but I hope I have a chance to repay her. Target moves, 70. Parts count, 59. Even though they raised the limit by 10 this time, I still didn't even reach the previous. Perfect synchronization. It's so clear it feels as if my nervous system has become one with your fingertips. The real ship of Theseus is the one Theseus deems as his ship. Okay, let's further this thought experiment a little bit. Let's say Theseus died and can no longer be around to designate the ship as his. Would the ship still be his if the next person to take command of the ship? Effectively, if we move on to replacing every person who works on the ship, who owns the ship, is it still then the ship of Theseus? Because then I think we start to delve into something a little bit deeper and a more complex truth than just saying, replacing all the planks on the ship and still having, the same owner. Because I think, for example, history might not remember it as the ship of Theseus, but if it started out as the ship of Theseus and ends up as somebody else's, what does that then happen? For example, what if Theseus died and Jason, one of the other Argonauts, took the ship? Is it now the ship of Jason? What about when Jason eventually dies and it goes on and on and on, and this ship, through countless parts replacements and countless owner changes, what happens then?
I think that the original intent is usually what matters. And so the original designation would still make it the Ship of Theseus, unless that designation is lost to time, in which case the truth becomes more malleable. Kind of boils down to perception and sentiment. Yeah, I guess it does. Kind of goes with transness too, huh? Yep. Ownership is a human-created concept. Alright, yeah. See, I love games that allow me to think, that allow me to philosophize a little bit. Because I love being able to just, like, talk conceptually with people and see what they think about things like this. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll just save over this one because I'm pretty satisfied with this. Hey! Pray, you must be busy right now. What's up? Reminds me of that ancient pot that this family found and was just using, not knowing it was like 10,000 years old. Yeah, I remember that. They're like, this is an insane relic. And they're like, really? This has just been in our family for a while. Prey visited unexpectedly. The timing was perfect. Following Leanne and Orca's advice, I was organizing my feelings about Michelle when I hit an unexpected snag. I was just thinking Prey might be able to help. With Buff Girl O'Hara about to end, I thought she'd be incredibly busy. I came for one last visit before it gets really busy. I have to work myself to death today. How's your body holding up? Body? Right. I was feeling a bit under the weather. Did you come all this way because you were worried about that? Not really. No, actually, that is why. I even asked you out on a date, so I can't back out just for this. Date? You mean the meal plan on Polar Night? Technically, it is a date. You dense bastard! When a girl comes on to you this strong, shouldn't you at least take a hint? Wait a second. Wait just a second. What did you say? You wouldn't know a hint if it bit you. You useless eunuch, seriously. Wait a minute. We've been so comfortable with each other, I never thought about it that way. Honestly speaking, we even shared our fetishes, and we've seen everything there is to see about each other. Plus, you never said it directly. You moron! You didn't hear me when I said it, and now what? I never said it? A scene flashed through my mind for a moment. Prey looking dejected, asking to just grab a meal together. Don't tell me. That day you came by smiling strangely. What did you say back then? I hate it! I wonder what she hates. Prey, stop. Hold on, Prey. I have something to tell you, seriously. If it's a lie, I'll make you taste iron in your mouth. You mean I'll bleed? You mean your fist will end up in my mouth? My fist will go into your mouth and you will bleed. And I'm gonna need compensation for your rudeness. This is separate from the lying. Compensation. The reward Prey loves. I'll give you as much as you want. Good. Talk. Okay. It's about Michelle. Michelle? Your sister. It's ambiguous if she's my sister, but yes, that Michelle. I think you might be able to help with what she's going through. It's complicated to explain, but her condition is similar to the after effects of a shadow agency. What are you talking about? She's your sister. Acting as a shadow is something only EVEs can do. After a bit of commotion, Prey listened to my explanation, and a complex look clouded her face. For a story heard so suddenly, it was long and heavy, so in a way it was natural. When it was over, I should give her some delicious snacks.
Chris, in a way, this is a more serious situation than the after effects. In cases of suffering from shadow agency after effects, there's still an original personality to return to. Even if all original personality feels like events of the past, and like childhood memories, it's not to the extent where memories are corrupted, so it's closer to your current state.
Thinking about it that way, that's a quite accurate diagnosis. Memories of the past do surface, but except for a few dramatic moments, they're often in the form of information rather than emotions. You're sharp, Prey.
Regrettably, that's not the case for Michelle. Once the personality she was acting as disappears, virtually nothing remains. That's why she considers herself Michelle even more strongly.
If Michelle is considered dead,
her life becomes one where everything was fake. Her memories, her personality, even the moments she built up.
but Michelle also noticed to some extent. There's a life she built while knowing, so dismissing even that as a lie is a leap, I think.
Facts aren't what's important, Chris. She's a child who lived relying solely on you, despite knowing the truth implicitly. Hearing the words Michelle is dead from you is like losing her last hope. Of course, since I'm not Michelle, I can't give you the right answer, but I know one thing. Michelle must be lonely, and she needs a helping hand. The only person who can help Michelle is you.
And it's my responsibility. I have to resolve it.
Good attitude. But instead of persuading her, maybe it's better to be honest. Michelle probably wants to not lose herself more than she wants to remain Michelle. She's afraid of becoming nothing. Neither anyone's daughter nor sister. If you convey your feelings, and if it's sincere, a complete resolution might be hard, but I don't think it'll end with Michelle disappearing.
That's amazing, Prey. You probably haven't even met Michelle, so how do you know so well? Prey's words, even to me who spent almost my entire life with Michelle, showed she understood Michelle too well. Her perception of the events that occurred was as clear as if she had experienced them herself. Upon hearing my words, Prey let out a faint smile and spoke.
Every EVE goes through an identity crisis at one point. Sometimes wanders and sometimes makes the wrong choice.
Prey.
In my case, I entrusted my body to a mechanic with suspiciously fluent speech at a repair shop with a shady name in the gloomy outskirts of the city.
I see. So that's how it was.
Was it helpful?
Of course. I'm convinced that Michelle will listen, just by doing what you said.
The important thing is conveying your sincerity, so don't be swayed by the shell. And about the compensation.
Yes, the touch of a suspicious mechanic. Beginning now. The touch of a suspicious mechanic. 80 moves. Now we have a tier 4 piece. Okay. So, let's start with... Let's assemble our tier 2 piece first. Well, that was cool. Okay, tier 1 is over here. And tier 2 over here. Oh, bastard. There we go. You need to uncurl your toes.
This feels better. Since EVEs have a structure similar to humans, muscle fibers can get stiff. Usually we call it a cramp. Right. Good thinking.
It's insane to me how autistic Chris is with the way that they talk. Okay, nice. Okay, let's move you over here. You there. Wait, I only need a... No, you know what? This could work to my advantage. Let's go... Perfect. Yes. Alright, let's see here. I need tier 2, tier 3, and tier 1. Yeah, okay, one of each. How hard can that be? Let's see. I need the red one to be tier 3. So... There we go, tier 3. Tier 2. Tier 1.
When the maintenance is over, are you planning to talk to Michelle?
If she answers, of course I'll try to talk to her.
If things work out well, I'll take you to a super delicious restaurant and feed you till you burst.
Are you paying too?
Why would I say this if I wasn't paying?
Last time you said that, and then whined asking if we could go Dutch?
That time, I hadn't saved up. I'm saving diligently these days, and besides, I'm gonna get my money's worth back for what I feed you.
Let's see. Feel like I can make this work. Go. I need a tier 4 yellow. Jeez. Okay. See? Totally was just practicing for this one last time. That's what happened. It was practice, and it's totally gonna pay off. Totally not gonna mess this up. Nice. Nice. Okay. Tier 1 over there. Okay. gonna do a magic trick. Oh, that was a tier 3. I'm stupid. Still counts. Okay, and then we'll do that. Two. Come on, I need more yellow pieces. Jeez. What if I do this just to clear more? There we come on, man. This is not going well. Oh, wait. Yeah? Okay. Getting somewhere resembling somewhere now. Okay, let's see. Yes, perfect. Move you there. Move you the long way round. Oh, damn it, those are tier 3s. Ah. I'm definitely not gonna hit the move count at this rate. Frustrating. Why are they so similar? I know, right? Ah. Finally have tier 4. Tier 2 on the outreach. God, I hope that worked. Whew. Maintenance is done. You should get up.
No. Do it a little more. It was too fast.
Even if I wanted to go easy on you, I have no more services to offer. Do you know how many hours it's been? Hearing this, Prey looked at me in shock.
Time?
It's almost been 4 hours. Snap out of it.
I'm screwed. I'm sorry, boss.
Prey scrambled to her feet and started putting on the coat she had taken off.
I'm rooting for you and Michelle. And don't forget Polar Night.
Okay. Listening to Prey's fading shout, I answered belatedly, and late in the evening, I sent a message to Michelle, my honest feelings, and all the stories until now. Whew! Just 2 under the count.
This is it. The indifferent yet meticulous dialogue manager I knew. Have you come to your senses now?
Okay, so full disclosure, I believe Yeah, okay. I have 2 achievements right now, one for repairing Leanne perfectly, and one for repairing Prey perfectly, which means that all the repairs I've done for them have had perfect scores. One of the ones that is locked is Orca's, and you all know why. If you've been, for those who've been watching, for those who haven't, I have a save file right here. No, here. Oh God, where'd it go? Did I save over it? Crap. No, it might, oh no, it's this one. It's this one. That I need to redo because I'm just like 15 or 17 seconds past the time limit to do it. To get a perfect run. But I have a perfect run on the others. So... I'm not an achievement hunter, but having 2 out of 3 just bothers me. So I'm wondering if I should go back and do that. Let's just go ahead first, and then maybe we'll scoop that one up later. Or I'll do it off camera, we'll see. Choice. Oh God. So here it is. We're gonna have to choose which one of the 3 datables. I'm pretty sure they count as datables at this point. That we're gonna. Oh no. I don't know which one to choose. Well, let's go ahead. December 21st. Polar Night Day. The final event lighting up the end of the year in Chroma City. Neon signs were twinkling and the streets should have been full of people. But the dim maintenance shop was filled only with silence. The blackout for the festival was partly the cause, but for D1AL-ogue, the EVE maintenance shop specializing in psychotherapy, it was a little different. Even as time passed, there was no response from Michelle. It showed that the message was received, but she made no reply and showed no gesture. It's almost time for the appointment. Happy Polar Night! Enjoy Chroma City's brightest night. Finally, Chroma City's biggest festival, Polar Night Day, has dawned. Today, December 21st, is the last polar night of the year and the day to illuminate that darkness with the most beautiful light. Citizens who may have felt uneasy due to recent unexpected disturbances in various parts of the city, please rest assured now, thanks to the prompt action of Sunshine Corp and the independent government, the city has regained perfect stability. Today, leaving all antagonism and conflict behind, is the time to fully enjoy the glory achieved by our Chroma City. Today, the output of neon shine streetlights and beacons across the city will operate at 150% compared to normal times. Along with the optimal serotonin levels provided by the nanocatalysts in your bloodstream, you will experience a warmer and more vibrant sense of happiness than ever before. The shadows of depression and anxiety will lift, and only the heat of the festival will fill the city center. Citizens, the endless night of Chroma City today is never a cold darkness. It is a warm solidarity of light that we create together. We hope you spend the most perfect holiday with your family, friends, and neighbors. Happy Polar Night! The future of shining Chroma City lies right in your smiles today. So this is basically them just admitting that they can in fact control that, and they choose to, There's a Great Monkeys song about this? It's on the tip of my tongue. I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember for the life of me. Wow, this topia is so... when the topia is dis or something. I guess it's better than when the topia is zoo. I'm sure Orca wouldn't mind if you don't go with her. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not going based on like character, I'm going based on my own heart, and my heart is like torn in two directions between Prey and Orca. Cause I really like Orca. But I mean, no matter how depressed she is, a promise is a promise. A quiet street with not a single point of light. Looking up at the night sky, I prepare to leave. Hi. Michelle.
I thought you'd be happier to see me. Your reaction is unexpectedly dull. Maybe I should have ghosted you for a few more days.
It's just so sudden, I didn't know how to react. I'm really glad to see you.
I read your message. Just as my feelings are my own, your thoughts are your own. Even if I'm not your sister, I understood that you don't want to lose me.
It might sound contradictory, but I thought being honest was the best way. Whoever you are, talking to you every day was fun and it became a habit for me.
Who am I?
Michelle.
Michelle is dead, but I am Michelle. That fact made me hate myself. To the people who love me, I felt like a monstrosity that only revives their pain. That disappearing was the right thing to do. Those thoughts filled my head.
We had a lot of fun times too.
That was the only way I could overcome my doubts. You cherishing me, caring for me, and loving me, when I thought that was just an illusion created by drugs, I felt like I lost my last bit of worth. Because I have Michelle's memories, I'm just making the people Michelle loved and the people who love Michelle suffer. Disappearing quietly must be the answer.
If it were my sister, she would have done that, because she hated causing trouble for others.
Right. It was a Michelle-like choice that I, who wanted to remain as Michelle, could make for the last time. But you told me that even if I'm not Michelle, I have worth. Whether I'm Michelle or not, you asked me to stay by your side. Those were the words I wanted to hear the most.
Even without pretending to be Michelle, you are fun. Sometimes you can give counseling, and sometimes you're someone I can rely on.
The problem was that I couldn't be like that. After getting your message, I wondered what I am if I'm not Michelle. In the first place, I realized I couldn't even understand what defines Michelle. Memories, habits, emotions, the conviction that I am Michelle. Then I realized what you meant by I don't know, that you were in this state too.
Right. I couldn't be sure if Michelle was dead or if you weren't Michelle. I couldn't be certain. I didn't know what the right answer was, and then someone said this. Then be honest, then do your best. If you can't know what the truth is, do what you want.
Living the way I want. Is that what you want?
Yes, that's everything.
Chris, then can I do as I want and selfishly stay by your side?
The story with Michelle wasn't a perfect ending, but precisely because of that, it was more than enough to paint the stories that would follow. However, while I was distracted by the distant future, I missed what was right in front of me. I was late. Very, very late. Because of Michelle's sudden message, I've completely forgotten about the appointment. When I belatedly told Michelle this fact, she asked,
"Were you just slacking off with something that important coming up?"
and told me to get lost immediately. I smiled awkwardly, hurriedly finished getting ready, and frantically typed a message to someone. Oh shit, there's 4 choices? I don't know. I know I can save Scum. I know I can do that. But the first choice is the one that matters the most. Do you know what I mean? Oh, man. Didn't mean to send the flag. Oh, shoot. No, this sucks. Okay. It comes down to which story was I the most invested in. I think to me it comes down to which story I was like most, yeah, which one I was most compelled by overall. Which story, like for the past 3 weeks, has had my attention more? Which one I was most curious to see play out? Which one I wanted to see resolved above the others? And which one feels the most important to me? It's not just which of these girls I'm like most into. I try to think about this as like overall as possible, and to me that means which thread I want to follow to the end, which one would give me the most fulfillment for having completed that story first. And in that case, I'm satisfied with Miss Leanne's story where it is. I'd like to see more of it, but I'm satisfied with where that left. So that's one that I can like reload and do over later to see for completion's sake. I think the hard part is deciding from there. Because each of them has like okay, to pull the curtain back a little, I was basically gonna go for Prey first. That was gonna be my first one. Like, I kind of figured that out by last week, that I was gonna resolve Prey's story first, because I liked her the most, and I thought that she had, like, the most, I don't know, like, maybe call me basic, but I just think that I really liked what was already established, and, like, you know, the close friend route, you know. I was gonna go for that one right away. But then this week happened. This playthrough started. And 2 late game developments just freaking blew me away. Because now we have the knowledge that Orca is the same one who who saved us, or like freaking was there that day. And like there's like a fated thread there that really deserves to be considered as well. But then the fact that the Michelle AI is a choice as well, that's secret tier, like character-wise, as Chris, who for the purposes of my playthrough, by the way, in case you guys haven't noticed, is basically short for Christina. It makes the most sense to resolve the Michelle story, because that has the hugest personal stake. Right now, I am of 3 different minds, and I think to me personally, it comes down to Orca or Michelle. I'm agonizing over this because I have such choice paralysis. I'm the type of person that gets insane, like, I get stuck really easily when it comes to making a choice, and I can't like just split myself into, you know, multiples to do all of them at once, sort of thing. Ah, frig. Again, we are going to save scum, but to me, the first choice that I make is the one that decides, essentially to me, decides the quote-unquote canon ending for my playthrough. I think... Oh god. I know, I'm gonna wrap this up soon. I'm gonna wrap it up and make a choice. I just need I just need a minute. Just Okay. All of these have such compelling hooks. And that's how I know this game is 100% worth recommending. If a story can make me agonize as to how to choose which, like, route to take without a clear winner, okay. Okay. No more dead air. I gotta decide. You guys know me. I'm a sucker for, like, I'm a sucker for all of these. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? I'm too chaotic for this. I am way too freaking lesbian for this. Ah. Alright. Pray, you were first choice up until like an hour ago. Do I stick with my original intention, or do I allow the sudden, like, plot hooks to just... Most in character versus my personal feelings. Where do they align? I think where they align is... Where they align is that my first gut instinct is usually correct. And my first gut instinct was already made up until about an hour ago. My first choice is my first choice. We're going to pray. The night sky of polar night day. The light of the chromatic zenith was brightening the city like broad daylight.
You're late. Extremely late.
Sorry. Michelle contacted me suddenly. It's an important day. I should have paid more attention.
Michelle? Finally? Hearing that and seeing your expression, it seems like things went well. Even though you're late, you had a grinning face, so I was planning to get really annoyed.
It's a long story to explain, but anyway, it's resolved well. She even cheered me on to go quickly and do well on today's date.
Is that so? Then come here. Right now.
Wait, we're in front of the restaurant and people are watching.
Doing this here is a bit... Does that matter? Today, you should be happier than anyone else. Meeting a precious person, eating delicious food, and with the person you love. Falling asleep happily is all you need to do. You can think about other things later. For now, just focus on that. Got it?
Prey buried her face in my chest and mumbled. I rolled my eyes around, checking if the staff were glaring at us, and my gaze was stolen by a phrase seen through the glass window. Today is a happy polar night day. With a lighter heart, I stroked Prey's hair and quietly closed my eyes. Because today is a happy polar night day. Wow. That was a pretty ending, CG. I don't regret that choice. Wow. These credits are so short, or so few. This is amazing for this is a really well done game for like the small crew size it had. Like, there's a few like small quirks of the writing that may not have translated perfectly into English, but honestly, really well done. I'm extremely happy with this game. It was... I'm glad I played this. I'm glad that I saw this on Twitter being, you know, going around on my... I think it was on my, like, For You page. And I'm glad I happened upon this game. I'm glad I played it. And I'm glad I played it for you guys. Oh, shit. December 25th.
Too many people. I'm doomed. This is a disaster.
Hey, Prey. What are you doing hiding under the counter? Where did the buff girl's strong heart that O'Hara kept going on about go?
Hey, O'Hara's strength is about the will to fight evil alone. It's different from acting like an attention seeker in front of a crowd. Prey, what are you doing? Come out and spread this noble buff girl spirit.
The captain's calling. Time to move out and protect the citizens, right?
Seriously? Fine, I'm going. I said I'm going.
What is all this?
You're too kind, Chris. I know you're trying to be considerate, but ignoring my signals until the very end, it's really cruel.
Never mind that. What is that syringe in your hand?
It's a drug that makes you honest. Let go of complex thoughts and just relax.
Just hearing the description makes it sound dangerous.
No way. It's very safe. I already took it myself.
What?
It should be kicking in about now. How is it? Do you feel anything? Are you scared?
How did you know? This is my first time on a bike. The wind is terrifying.
We passed the stopping point, so I can't stop now. If you'd like, you can hold on to my tail.
Your tail?
My tail is also used for rescue purposes, so it handles vibration well. Wait, that part has a lot of nerves.
Sorry, old habit from being a mechanic. Then what about here?
Orca, if you wrap your tail around my neck, I can't breathe.
There, almost done. How does it feel?
Not at all. My joints are creaking.
I had to make sure you could move first. Use some emergency spare parts.
You don't mean that junk piled up in the warehouse, do you?
You know exactly what my bank account looks like.
Then restore my backup. Being data is better than being in a body I can barely control.
Can't do that.
Why not?
I already put out an ad. Said I hired a cute and capable new employee. Give me a cute smile, please.
You'd better swap these for high quality parts later. Got it?
Aw, so there was an ending for everybody. Oh, and the credits. Okay, cool. Press escape to skip. Yeah, they did use a lot of copyright-free music. I'm glad they did, because I was wondering what the music selection for streamer mode would be like, so. Heart-shaped ahoge, red eye, syringe. Alright, well, that was my canon ending for dialogue, but in the interest of completionism, let's go ahead and wrap up the other loose threads. My second choice, and the one that basically became first, if I'm being honest, if it wasn't for the fact that I stuck to the one that I had decided first, this is the one that would have won. The night sky of polar night day. The light of the chromatic zenith was brightening the city like broad daylight. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. The gorgeous streets, and even more gorgeous signboards and antique decorations. The beauty made my heart, already daunted by missing the reservation, feel even more dejected.
What is this? You said you had plans on a precious polar night evening, so I let you go thinking you might have gotten a girlfriend or something. You just came to take pictures?
It's hard to get a reservation here. It's famous for having the best view of the chromatic zenith.
That's fine, but I'm pointing out that there's no one by your side.
In case you contacted me, I wanted to show you.
Me? Why?
Chroma City is a harsh place. Too many people suffer, and enraged victims turn into perpetrators. Even so, I wanted to show you that Chroma's polar night can be a beautiful day. I wanted to show you that.
Well, it's a finished story, but I'm not exactly a singular variable. It was part of your plan, after all. That's what you're saying?
Right. Of course, it was a plan that isn't really needed now, but since I paid a lot for the reservation, it's a waste not to go.
I feel like I've been tricked somehow.
Oh, they say we can go in. Let's hurry. Okay, and then there's the credits again. Okay, so that still plays out. Okay. Oh, do the other ending CGs not change? Interesting. They don't. Okay, well that makes it a little bit easier. I'm just double checking to make sure there aren't any differences in the... Okay, yeah. So it's just the initial ending part that's different. Cool. Then let's go ahead and go with my third choice. Tied with the Michelle ending, obviously, as you guys know. The Orca ending. The night sky of polar night day. The light of the chromatic zenith was brightening the city like broad daylight. Vehicle noises. I'm gonna pretend that's an Akira slide, because I love Akira slides. Akira slide into a crash. Startled by the earth-shaking sound, I turned around and saw a familiar face. Orca? Was that a bike sound just now?
Yes. You weren't answering my calls and weren't at the meeting place, so I was looking around to see if something happened to you.
I heard she had a hobby of riding bikes, but a sound that literally shakes the heaven and the earth. Orca was someone who was hard to predict. I'm sorry.
I was the one who suggested it, but I ended up making you suffer instead. It's okay. Looks like you had a reason.
A lot has happened. I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd feel responsible, but I had some trouble because of things from the past.
Seeing you talk about it so casually, it must have been resolved well.
Yes. Thanks to your advice, Orca.
I only talked about what I like. Rather, I was happy to have someone to listen to me, and from what you're saying, today's appointment was made to thank me?
That's right. I wanted to convey my sincerity to you, whom I'm always indebted to. Since we're on the subject, let me say one thing. Thank you, Orca. I quietly held out my hand towards Orca, my respect and other complex feelings, meaning that I look forward to working with you. Is it burdensome? Sorry. I did act suddenly.
No, it's not that. A girl's hand, it's my first time holding one. Please take care of me.
Orca holds out her hand cutely. To think such a cool person could be this cute. Her hand was smaller and warmer than I thought. To think she saved people with these hands. Then I also look forward to it. Cool yet cute, strong yet timid. Orca with mysterious charms. Expectations for a new relationship with Orca were already beginning to sprout. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and check we'll go ahead and cycle through these again. That's still there. This is still there. I wonder if that changes if you pick Leanne's ending, because alright, and finally night sky of polar night day. The light of the chromatic zenith was brightening the city like broad daylight.
The wind is quite cold. No, that might sound like I want to go back soon. Then how about... The moon is bright tonight. You're saying that's in the top 4 most cliché pickup lines in history? And I worked so hard to come up with it.
Hello, Leanne. Sorry I'm late.
How about the night air is nice? I think the chic vibe would be good.
Leanne?
Huh? Oh, you're here.
You've been waiting. I'm really sorry for being late. Something urgent came up.
No, I just got here too. Anyway, the night air is nice, isn't it?
Your ears are bright red. Are you sure you weren't waiting? Come here. Leanne, who's always thoroughly prepared, couldn't possibly have not been waiting. And seeing how she usually likes to wear thick clothes, I was worried about her, who must be very sensitive to the cold. I took my hands out of my pockets and covered Leanne's ears.
Chris? Wait, I don't know how to react to this.
They're really cold. Sorry for being late. Michelle contacted me. Not everything is resolved, but I'm relieved for now. Whatever happens in the future, I have you, Leanne. And there'll be enough people to help. So I'm not that worried.
That's a relief. Feeling your warm hands and hearing such good news, I feel like my anxiety is washing away.
Then, Leanne, shall we walk a bit?
No. Let's stay like this for a bit. Not just a bit. Forever might be even better.
Leanne, who isn't honest with herself, slowly snuggled into my arms, and for a very long time, we felt each other's warmth. Eventually, I caught a cold, and Leanne needed her heat control unit replaced, but after that day, Polar Night became painted with a warm happiness, as warm as Leanne's body temperature. Lying curled up in bed together and listening to Michelle's nagging was unbelievably gratifying, so I quietly prayed that this moment would last forever. Alright, let's see if that last CG still stays, or if at least the text changes. Because now we've responded to her feelings. Oh no, it's still... Okay. I guess we can consider that a double tap. Alright. She tries to drug you no matter what. Oh, Leanne, you scamp. Alright, well that's all the endings of dialogue. At this point, pretty much, it's just, if I so choose, a little bit of achievement hunting on my end. And even then, it's mostly I just want to get the Orca one. Actually, they never needed me to do a level 5 module. What the heck? So... Anyway. Well... that was really fun. That was a really fun game. Very much love the art style. The writing was great. The music was nice. I mean, you guys are hearing the copyright-free version, so when I'm playing this off stream to wrap up the last couple of achievements, I'll hear the real music, and I'll let you guys know how that sounds. But I definitely want to play more games like this. Not just the cyberpunk dystopian retro inspired stuff, but just, you know, nice little relatively simple but well written fun games like this. And I think I have one in mind to start next time, and it's one that's been requested for a little while from some of you. It's very much in the same vein, has numbers in the title, and follows a very similar theming. So we're gonna go from being a mechanic and you know, opening up bodies and changing some minds to how you say, mixing drinks and saving lives. That's right, guys. Next time I'm gonna start up with Valhalla, the cyberpunk bartending game that everybody has wanted me to play for a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow evening. For those of you who saw my schedule but didn't see the follow-up posts, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland read-along stream will be in the evening at about 5 p.m. PDT, 8 p.m. EDT, and due to a scheduling conflict. And yeah, so I'll see you guys then. Thank you all so much for being here, my wonderful Rainiacs and Langsters. Thank you so much, all 101 of you. Onwards and upwards, here's to more. Until next time, make sure you eat well, stay hydrated, and get lots of good rest. Be kind to yourselves, be excellent to each other, and have a radiant rest of your night. And of course, as always, unshrimp yourselves. This has been Ray Langley, virtual entertainer and wolf girl extraordinaire, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!